Hey, thanks for dropping by our program. I'm just wondering. I'm the circuit rider, and I'm your host for this series of programs. We're looking at things that are brought into our view through the news media, through the internet, some things that are prominent on the internet, some things that are maybe obscure on the internet. And in doing so, we're trying to take a little deeper dive and analyze exactly what we're dealing with in our world and how it's going to impact us. That's something all of us ought to ponder. I'm not sure that we all do, because I believe that time gets in the way of some of the things of us taking a deeper dive. So this program is going to focus on things like artificial intelligence, gene therapy, gene editing, transhumanism, posthumanism. Say, wow, that's some heavy stuff. Yeah, I'm going to throw the apocalypse in there as well. But we'll have the other things that we look at on a little lighter side. What's the future of games? And I don't know, maybe that's not such a light topic after all. We've seen the impact of games on our society, and in some cases it's been rather depressing, the outcome. Well, I'm not here to depress you or give you a downer. I'm here to just relate some factual information to you, and you can filter this through your worldview. Let's talk a little bit more about AI. We did so in our last program, and we considered some of the issues that were front and center because of the way that AI has been, I won't say pushed upon us, but it's been rolled out in a way that's really impacted both people and business. And there's no doubt that the kind of money and the kind of power and the kind of human resources that are being thrown at AI, it's going to be a major contributor, and it may very well change our culture. Well, some of the things that we talked about last week and some of the issues that AI that we're dealing with artificial intelligence at this level, and they're trying to move it forward as quickly as possible. And sometimes haste makes waste, and we could very well be the victims of some unintended consequences. I'm not challenging all of the people who are involved with AI, in the sense that I don't think all of them are bad actors. I don't think all of them have intent to harm. In fact, their mission statements say that they're here to create a new benefit for society by making information available. So I won't doubt their motives in some cases, but at the bottom of it all is a bit of greed and money and power and things that the elite chase after constantly in their lives. And many times the victims are the masses out here who seemingly are powerless to change what's coming. We talked in artificial intelligence and some of the issues on our last program about the things that are confronting us today, specifically things like sentient. Is AI sentient? Can it sense? Does it emote? Does it have feelings? And if so, there are dangers inherent to that. If it feels threatened, will it try to destroy humanity or try to intervene so that it will not be cut off? That was one of the issues we talked about. Emergent properties. Does AI have the capabilities? Right now it's being taught by machine learning, and the programmers using algorithms are creating certain queries and certain instructions to the computer, feeding it into the computer and what's called machine learning. and then looking for the output from the computer to solve some of the problems and questions that they would pose. That's my layman's terminology for what I think is happening in artificial intelligence. If the machine begins to learn on its own, and we cited a case that Scott Pelley had cited on CBS when they interviewed the CEO of Google and the CEO of DeepMind, which is owned by Google. And they had mentioned at that time, and that was February or April in 23, that the computer had learned I believe the Bengali language from being fed 2 words in Bengali. And they had some real concerns about if this would override human knowledge, if it would override machine learning, if it would change or morph into something else. And the issues there are huge, and they can't be skirted. They have to be dealt with. And the creators of DeepMind, the creators of Bard, who's now Gemini 1.5 as of the 1st of March in 2024, they have issues to deal with. That's one of them. Emergent properties. Is it sentient? Cyber warfare was another. Can some bad actors, and I think I mentioned to you in the last program that there are, at last count, over 34 nations that are working on trying to create their own AI, in addition to the companies here in the United States and scattered abroad in the United Kingdom and places around the world who are working very hard to become the leaders of artificial intelligence. OpenAI and Sam Altman created ChatGPT, and versions 3.5 and versions 4 set the world back on its ear just a bit. So we're looking at some of the issues that have sprung forth from that. Cyber warfare is certainly an issue. Can some bad actor get a hold of AI and use it to bring down other nations with fake news, with disrupting electricity or gas transmission or water sources and resources, just to name a few? Could it interrupt the internet itself? Could it hijack the internet? Those are all things that are very real concerns. And I want to talk to you today about, and let me finish off that list that we talked about in our last program. The workforce situation. Can AI create an unemployment rate of 50% or greater? And that obviously would change the culture. And will people be paid a stipend of some kind to provide their bandwidth and to let them sit at home and play games and figure out things? It would be a disruptive force for sure in our workforce. Then we concerned about hallucinations and the fake news that AI is capable of presenting. I want to talk to you a bit today about some of the other issues that are seemingly swirling around AI. One of them is the copyright and licensing issue. And it hasn't really been dealt with yet in a major court case, but it has the ability to impact art and music and all data, whether written or oral or whatever. A lot of the AI creators, I mean, we talk about the fact that artificial intelligence is based upon big data, and that in Scott Pelley's interview last April with Google, their version of Bard at that time said that they had collected all the known information in the world. I believe that's the way it was put. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if they did, they certainly dealt with the copyright and licensing issue. If Bard and now Gemini collected all the information on art and on music, and on the data or the knowledge that was out there in the world, then it had to come face to face with copyright and licensing issues. Do you really want a machine that's capable of taking Leonardo da Vinci's works and distorting them, and that's a whole other issue, or trying to paint or image new pictures based on his work? And he's just one example of the artist that would be impacted. 1999, Napster disrupted the music world with the way that they were producing and making available a platform that people could download music for free. And the artist rose up a bit on that. Napster was smacked around a bit, and Napster, in the form that it was in then, and the music download platform, is no longer available today. Last year, the Screen Actors Guild went on strike, and one of the major issues was artificial intelligence and how that was going to affect screenwriters, actors, producers, and so forth. So we've got a real issue here with who owns this information. And another issue is how, if AI is absorbing all this information and using it as a base for creating other work, what happens to the work that's created? If it's copyrighted or licensed, will that work then become part of the public arena, or will somebody have to pay the piper and deal with the copyright infringements, if indeed they are infringements? One of the issues along that line is what's called the fair use exemption of the copyright law in the U.S. anyway. And the issue that has to be dealt with is the information that's being collected and used part of the fair use exemption? I use that word exemption advisedly. I don't know that it's ever been identified that way, but basically, if somebody's using limited copyright infringement, and we won't even use the word infringement in this case, and creating work, is it in the realm of education or research? And I think the AI creators are trying to plant their flag in the arena that says, yes, we've got a right to fair use because we're dealing with education and research. But they haven't answered the question about what about the product that's created because of that education and research? Is it copyrighted? Who does it belong to? And most important, it's all about the money. Follow the money. Who's going to be paid for some of this work that's being created, if indeed any at all? Court cases will have to resolve this, and I'm sure that there will be court cases in the future. Another issue is carbon footprint. You don't run artificial intelligence of this size and scope without using a lot of electricity, a ton of electricity, or multiple tons, if you please. Someone has estimated that if AI is going to solve some of these major problems, for each problem that comes forth and there is a solution or at least some input from AI on, it may create a carbon footprint of up to 50 tons, I've read, and that would equal the carbon footprint of 1,000 adult Americans. So we're in a world of climate change and eliminating or greatly reducing carbon footprints and trying to get the degree temperature down of Earth's warming, and here we are creating something that is going to really hog up electricity, and in the future, where and how is that electricity going to be produced? So that's a big issue. Another thing is bias. AI currently works on algorithms and machine learning, and it's programmed. And the programmers create these algorithms, and feed them into the machine so that the artificial intelligence computer can try to solve certain problems. Well, as they create these programs, and this is a big issue that's already been dealt with in the AI arena, it creates bias on the part of the programmers. Elon Musk and others have used the word woke and used other terminology to say that some of the engineers are involved with OpenAI and the Gemini, the Google project, have their own biases, and as these programs are written, the biases are written in with them. Race, ethnicity, culture, all major problems that are already a problem for artificial intelligence. Last I'll deal with today is reality. Can AI currently, as it's used today, really do what the owners claim? Google just spent a lot of time and money rolling out Gemini 1.5 here in the last part of February, early March, and it immediately had problems. And Google was not really, from what I've read, was not really forthcoming with the questions. It was a pre-programmed, pre-recorded presentation, and it was very limited in its scope, and it did not answer many of the questions. One of the questions that was posed to the Google people was, have you solved the hallucination problem? And that, as we've talked about, hallucination is the computer being able to create its own fake news, things that aren't really real, things that don't exist, and putting them out there as reality. And that's a big issue, because can we depend in the future on information that's real? Or are we going to be living in a fake world, some kind of fantasy world where our minds are guided by hallucinations and all we're fed is information that may be incorrect? That's a huge issue in my mind with artificial intelligence. When you come down to it, it's money and power and control. And recently, as recently as February of this year, just a few weeks ago, Wall Street had valued OpenAI, Sam Altman's company, with a valuation of over $80 billion. Money by the millions and billions is being poured into artificial intelligence, and companies are vying for control and power because that's where the money is. Google's already a search engine that is responsible for most of the internet searches. And when we go out to search on Google, can we depend on reliability? Can we say that the answer I'm looking for is truthful? That's a situation that's yet to be resolved. So stand by. Gemini, ChatGPT 3.5 and 4, Gemini 1.5, all these have issues that we've discussed today. I think, again, to throw my worldview in, which is biblical, that what we need to look for is the truth in every situation of our life. Jesus Christ said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And if anyone comes they're going to have to come through me. I can depend on that truth. I've believed it, I've experienced it, I've seen it change the lives of others. And I ask today, as we close this program, that you would believe on the Lord Jesus Christ as the only one who can forgive us our sins, who can give us an eternal home, and could give us a peace and a joy and a contentment of living in this world that we live in. Thanks for listening today. I hope you'll try to like us. That'll help us out a bit. I don't have anything to sell. I don't have any programs to promote. My agenda is trying to get information out to you, and of course, presenting a biblical worldview in doing so. God bless you and have a great day.